Here's some good news. I want you to know that I'm bringing the goods. In other words, I'm not just a person who has sort of gone out into the world and figured out how to tell a story. That I have done. I am a professional storyteller. I stand on stages all over the world and tell stories routinely. I also consult with everything from Fortune 100 companies all the way down to investors who are just getting started with their very first business. I'm an internationally best-selling novelist and a writer of nonfiction. I know what I'm doing. But the thing that I think is important for you to know is I'm also a business owner, and there was a time when I launched my own business too, and I did it through storytelling. In the fall of 1997, my phone rang. It was one of those old clunky phones attached to a cord on the wall. I answered it, and my friend Benji was on the phone. Benji asked me a question that changed my life forever. Do you want to be a wedding DJ? It was a stupid question because the answer was no. I had attended exactly 2 weddings in my entire life up until that point. One of them was Benji's. Turns out Benji didn't like his wedding DJ, and he thought that he and I could do better than his wedding DJ. I did not think so. I knew nothing about weddings. I knew nothing about music. I had no actual desire to be a wedding DJ. I didn't even really know that that job was a job. I was in school. I was attending Trinity College and getting an English degree, and at the same time attending St. Joseph's University to get an education degree. I was extremely busy. I was also managing a McDonald's restaurant full-time. There was no space for me to be launching any business with Benji. And so when he asked me, do you want to be a wedding DJ? I said yes. I said yes because I say yes to everything, because I knew that this question may never come around again. I say yes with the intention of figuring out if I like what the proposition is, and if I don't, I'll turn my yes into a no. So I say yes. And so Benji and I begin the process of launching a brand new company, a wedding DJ company, a business that we know nothing about. We go to a place called DJ World and we buy equipment from a guy named E-Man who does not help us in any way whatsoever. We buy some music and we arrange for a party at a local VFW for a bunch of our friends so we can practice. It goes terribly. We can't even keep one song playing long enough to get the next song ready. We are definitely not DJs. So about 3 months later, Benji finds out that one of his coworkers is getting married, and his coworker asks us to be the DJ, thinking we are wedding DJs when we are not, but we say yes. And we do our first wedding for free. It goes okay. I stand too close to the couple during the cake cut, so I end up in those pictures for the rest of their lives. We're not very good at mixing music. We can't beat match. We don't know how to do any of those things, but we pull it off. And so it is time for us to go to our first bridal show, to actually pitch ourselves to potential customers in the same way businesses do every day. We know that we cannot fight on the music front. We can't mix music. Our music collection is very small compared to all of our competitors. They have lights and smoke machines and digital effects. We have none of this. It's 1997 and we have a mixer and a couple speakers and some CDs. That's all we have. And so we decide to fight with story. Benji and I have been friends for 10 years. We love each other and we know each other really well. We actually met in a McDonald's restaurant when we were teenagers. We hated each other at first, but we bonded over our mutual love for the Disney's Gummy Bears, a Saturday morning cartoon that we discovered we both could sing the theme song to. Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest, they sing out in chorus, marching along as their songs fill the air. Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. I could do the second verse, but I suspect you don't want me to. But in McDonald's, we discover that we both love this cartoon, and somehow we decide that we're going to be best friends forever. And we are. So 10 years later, we're at a bridal show and we're trying to figure out how to get customers for the first time. We have a flyer. We decide that our flyer should be deliberately different than everyone else's flyer. So we make it strategically ugly. A simple red piece of paper with black print, one side only, that tells people who we are and what we offer and what our price is. While all the other booths are filled with equipment and CDs and smoke machines, they're like mini parties happening in each one of these booths at the bridal show. Benji and I have one table with one red flyer on that table. And when people come over, we tell them stories. We tell them stories about that first wedding as if it's 100 weddings. And we tell them stories about Benji and about me and our relationship. Our goal is to become the kinds of people you would want to invite to your wedding, except in this case, you're going to pay us to come to your wedding. It works. It works more miraculously than we ever could have imagined. The first 37 weddings that we book come from that bridal show. We meet with 37 couples, and all 37 of them book us. We have a slogan in our company for a long time, which is, someday we're going to do our second wedding, because we have 37 weddings booked before we ever do our second wedding. Benji and I launch a company that becomes one of the most respected wedding DJ companies in Connecticut. It runs for more than 25 years, and it still exists today. To be honest, I don't really DJ very many weddings anymore, but for a long time I was. We did weddings every weekend, and our numbers were pretty extraordinary. We booked 100 out of the first 100 clients who we met with. Everyone who met with us booked us, and it wasn't because we could mix music, it wasn't because we had amazing equipment, it wasn't because we had a great light show. We told stories. We told stories about weddings that we had done. When a bride says, I don't really like my father that much, but I know I have to dance with him, what should I do? I was able to say, well, a year ago, Janet had the same problem, and here is what Janet did, and here are some of the options you have, and I told it as a story. We told stories about our own weddings, what we liked and what we didn't like. We told stories about ourselves. We just made ourselves human beings who clients felt like they would want to spend time with. And as a result, we had more business than we ever knew what to do with. Everything about our marketing and our sales and our strategy from a visual standpoint was terrible. But we told stories, and we launched a great business as a result. Not only am I a storyteller and an author and a consultant, but I understand what it's like to start and run a business. I understand what it takes to find and secure clients. I understand what it's like to make customers happy and even to bring in repeat business. 2 of our clients ended up getting divorced and remarried. They changed their brides, but they kept the same DJs for their second weddings. I tell you all that because I want you to know I've walked in your shoes. I tell you that because I want you to understand that I understand you, that I know the challenges that you face. I know the difficulties of the daily grind, and I want to help you do what Benji and I did so well, so long ago. Do the very best business that you can do. Find as many customers or clients that you want, and to make a great living doing the thing that you love. I am a business person and a consultant and a teacher. I want you to know that moving forward so that you know that we are standing side by side.